Hey everyone, welcome back to The Bored Journalist. Thank you so much for taking the time to sit down and have an informal chat with me. So what happens when discipline turns dangerous? When parental controls lead to a violent revolt? Today we dive into two shocking stories of teenage daughters who took their anger to extreme measures. Our first story takes us to Harris County, Texas, where a shocking act of teenage rage unfolded. 3 sisters, aged 14, 15, and 16, were arrested in late March after allegedly attempting to murder their own mother. The reason? Y'all, the mama turned off the Wi-Fi. Like, what is wrong with these kids? Authorities say the girls grabbed kitchen knives, chasing their mother into the street, trying to stab her. One even threw a brick at her, while another knocked down their own grandmother who tried to intervene. So I'm going to play this clip from the news.
Chasing their mother out of their home with knives after hatching a plan to kill her because she turned off the Wi-Fi. This all happened really in West Harris County. The sisters ages 16, 15, and 14 tonight are locked up. Fortunately, their mother was not seriously hurt. KPRC 2 reporter Corley Peel joins us now with the history the home has with law enforcement.
A home here inside the Barker's Crossing neighborhood is where the 3 teen sisters are accused of trying to kill their mother. Neighbors say they hear yelling and see deputies outside their home on a regular basis. One neighbor who asked to remain anonymous says she saw the scene overnight.
We came home from the rodeo like around 11 p.m. and we saw all of them outside on the driveway, so we kind of thought that was out of the ordinary.
The 3 teen sisters were mad their mom turned off the Wi-Fi. Deputies say they grabbed kitchen knives and chased their mom inside their house and into this street while trying to stab her. The mother was struck with a brick in the process. The grandmother was also knocked over as she tried to protect the mom. Fortunately, both of them are okay.
Were you surprised to see police outside the house?
No, it's not the first or last time.
How often do you see police at the home?
We've been here over a year and it's already been probably more than 5 times.
The Harris County Sheriff's Office says this is the 3rd time deputies have been called to that home since January. The other calls include a runaway child and a disturbance involving children who were fighting.
Have you ever worried for your safety living across the street and hearing a lot of the commotion?
Yes, that's for sure. Yes, I don't even let my kids come outside because of them.
Now, it's easy for us to speculate because the first thing I'm like, is there anything else going on in the house for them to snap over Wi-Fi? Because sometimes you never know. Sometimes these kids are going under like long-term abuse. You just never know. And then sometimes kids are just spoiled and they just act out. So on this one, I'm going to keep up with this just to see if there's literally any other reason. And you push your grandma down. Unfortunately, this isn't the first time teenage daughters turned on their own mother. So let's go back to 2010 to the tragic case of Nikki Whitehead and her twin daughters, Tasmia and Jasmia. By all accounts, Nikki Whitehead was a loving mother, but her relationship with her 16-year-old twins had spiraled into chaos. The girls had been bright students involved in Girl Scouts and the arts, but they grew rebellious, so much so that they were temporarily sent to live with their great-grandmother. But just 1 week after they returned home, Nikki was found brutally murdered in her own home, beaten and stabbed. Suspicion quickly turned to her daughters. Police discovered inconsistencies in their statements and found evidence linking them to crime. On May 21st, the girls were arrested and charged with their mother's murder. They initially denied involvement, but later confessed to attacking their mother in a violent altercation. Both were sentenced to 30 years in prison. So let's take a look at this news clip.
Twins share everything. Birthdays, clothing, even DNA. But Jasmia and Tasmia Whitehead also share a dark past. These twins admitted to murdering their mother, a confession that came after 4 months of lying to cover it up.
Twin girls had come home and found their mother deceased.
At first glance, these 2 sweet 16-year-old girls had just discovered a gruesome scene.
It was the bloodiest scene I think I've ever been to.
January 13th, 2010, one of the girls flags down a passing police car. Inside their home, Conyers police find their mother dead after a brutal attack, submerged in a bathtub.
As soon as you open the door, you could smell the blood, like the copper iron smell.
The girls, known as Taz and Jazz, are described as visibly distraught and taken into the care of Conyers police.
You come over here, sweetheart. Come sit over here.
Until now, these tapes have never been seen by the public.
Jazz, scream or say something. I looked that way, and all I saw was blood all over the floor.
We were treating them as victims, witnesses that came home, found their mother, dead.
Remember, these girls admit it. This is all an act.
He's not going to come back.
Several times, Jazz asks for her mother. A mother that she, along with her sister, murdered.
You gotta be strong, Jay. You got to. Because I'm going to make sure they find the person that did it.
The people who did it are in this room, lying to police.
There is a little red thingy that sit on the tables. I didn't see it.
There's a vase, a big giant red vase that had been used to strike their mother.
More lies, some laced with truth.
There was blood in front of the door, and there was a line of blood, somebody dragged her in there.
The girls have had a history of domestic troubles with their mother for years. It's evident by this handwritten letter recovered by police at the scene. It was sent from Jazz to her boyfriend. She says, "I just hate living here, being with her."
Tell me you hate her. Tell her when she was dead and she really did die. I told her that plenty of times and she never died.
Presumably to hide their injuries, both girls wear gloves indoors, but police quickly noticed and asked that they be taken off.
Let me see your hands and your arms. What happened here?
I got into a fight.
You get in a fight with her?
She points to her sister, but the fight was actually with her mother.
They both had what could have been bite marks or scratch marks on their hands. Taz had a bite mark on her left arm.
Detectives decide it's time to separate the girls.
All right. Taz, I want you to come out here and sit with them for a minute. I want to talk to your sister.
Why y'all gonna separate us?
Because we need to talk to y'all separate. I know it sounds mean, but it's really not.
Police will now compare stories, and unlike the twins, they're far from identical.
Nikki's case is so sad. It was so sad and very unnecessary for them to kill their mother. And she was really young. I think she was only 34 when she passed away. And from the interviews that I've watched on Oxygen and a few other interviews just from Nikki's mother, she did a lot for them. And what it was, she was just trying to give them structure and discipline, and they didn't want any parts of it. Cases like this force us to ask, when does discipline cross the line? And how do we prevent teenage rebellion from turning deadly? And what can parents do to set boundaries without inciting dangerous confrontations? So, alright y'all, I'm gonna end this video here, and I will talk to y'all on the next one. Bye!